HQN Books and HarlequinAudio present The Beach Reads Bookshop by Lee Tobin McClain, performed by Tanya Eby. A note before we begin. For Carol's list of classic beach reads and the author's acknowledgments, don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to harpercollins.com/pages/The Beach Reads Bookshop. To beach readers everywhere. Prologue. The little bookshop, located on Teaberry Island on the Chesapeake Bay, had once been a fisherman's cottage. In the 1950s, Tom Crockett bought it and made it into a bookshop. Located between the town's tiny business district and the harbor, it soon became a gathering place for the island's residents. Its weathered porch held chairs and a checkerboard propped on old crab traps, and on warm afternoons, as many as 10 men would gather there, smoking and discussing the weather on the bay. Fishermen, primarily, but also teachers and shop owners and the town minister. The women of the community tended to congregate inside the shop, drinking coffee from the percolator Tom kept on the stove, and catching up on the latest news. More than one moonlit first kiss was shared on the porch, and at least 3 men were known to have knelt on the weather-beaten planks to propose to their sweethearts. Inside, volumes of Chesapeake history filled the shelves and nautical maps lined the walls. Regional cookbooks were popular with the island's few but loyal summer tourists. Chesapeake by James A. Missioner was hard to keep in stock, and so was Beautiful Swimmers, the Pulitzer Prize-winning study of the blue crab. As the years passed, people grew busier, and Tom's bookshop clientele dropped off. Phone service came late to the island, but it did come, cutting down on the need for in-person sharing of news. People got their hit of history from television, and the old volumes that had once been treasured now gathered dust on the shelves. Tourists walked past the bookshop to trendier places on High Street. Friends told Tom, now nearing 80, that he needed to modernize, but he resisted the notion. His sons and granddaughters had bigger things to do than run a retail establishment that, truth to tell, hadn't turned a profit for years. And then Tom died, and the doors of the bookshop closed. Winter after winter, storms took their toll on the sturdy structure. The weathered boards grew more weathered. Mice and chipmunks skittered across the floors, and a pair of barn swallows took up residence in the eaves. After a large bough from a nearby tree crushed one corner of the roof, rainwater dripped in, soaking some of the abandoned volumes. One day, Tom's granddaughter, Mary Beth, 50-something and hurting for money after a bad divorce, stuck a for sale sign in front of the tumble-down building. The local people were too kind to laugh, but privately they shook their heads. Who would buy such a place? What was the good of a musty old bookshop full of musty old books? And indeed, the sign stood mostly unnoticed, rattling in rainstorms and bending to the ground when strong winds blew. No one expected the bookshop's fortunes to change, but Teaberry had always meant refreshment and renewal for tourists, and sometimes the friendly community and natural beauty of the island had brought residents back from the brink of despair. Maybe the same could happen for a broken-down little bookshop. Chapter 1.
Have you ever considered slowing down?
The doctor's words were as out of place as his white coat in Luis Dominguez's busy corporate office. Mergers and acquisitions were what they did here, and at a fast pace. No one slowed down. Ever.
What are you trying to tell me, Doc?
Luis attempted to ignore the text messages that kept pinging into his phone.
I'm only 28. I can't have something wrong with me.
Dr. Henry fastened the blood pressure cuff on his arm.
My understanding is that you got dizzy at a board meeting, and that you live on coffee and nachos.
He tightened the cuff, studied the numbers,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?